Okay, welcome to the show wrap-up here at SMTAi 2025. I'm delighted to be joined by Keith Bryant. Good to see you again, Keith.
Very nice to be here again, Trevor.
Yeah. So this is the best time of the show. It's the end of the show, and we've had a very busy week, very entertaining week in many ways. But you've been involved in the conference side quite heavily. So let's start off with that and give us a report on how that's performed this week.
Okay, I mean, as always with SMTAi, there are 4 parallel tracks running most of the time.
Yeah.
And the problem is deciding what you want to see. But, you know, it's better than the option of having a 4-week conference, I guess. So it's good. But no, I mean, overall numbers for the conference are back to the 2015 level.
Okay.
So that makes a lot of difference. And most of the tracks have had 50, 60, even up to 70 people in them.
Wow.
And the keynotes have also been really well attended. Even the professional development courses that, to be honest, at SMTAi used to struggle a little bit. You know, they're 60, 70, 80 people on Monday.
Right. So what do you think is driving that? Do you think that's because there's so much reshoring happening and things like that, more people coming into the industry, needing to learn?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm hoping it's because a lot of the people out there in the industry have worked out the value of sending their engineers to learn about stuff.
Right.
Because there is a huge number of first-timers here this year in terms of attendance, both upstairs and downstairs at the exhibition.
Yes.
And I think it's, you know, people have started to realize there's a value in doing this.
Yes, yes. Well, I mean, obviously, and I mean, it's like a couple of weeks ago when I was at Semicon West on the Semicon side of it, it was really, really busy because there's a lot of people, a lot more money coming to that end of the business, and a lot more people coming into the industry. And of course, once you've got all these chips packaged, you've got to mount them onto a board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I chatted to a few of the first timers and what we call the young professionals, and they said, yeah, basically their companies had sent them there to learn about the different technologies, to learn about maybe things that they can put into their manufacturing process, like low temperature solders, like different materials, and also to find out more about reliability testing and all of these things. So they were definitely sent to gather knowledge.
Right.
And I mean, a lot of them had a list of, you know, I'm going here to listen to this, and then I've got to go to this other room to listen to the next one. And yet, you know, they were pretty much full-time listening to people for the whole day.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, you know, interesting you're saying there about low temperature solders. I had an interesting interview earlier today with Indium Corporation, where they're selling some of these low temperature solders for use in some of these advanced packages that are huge in nature, and you know, they're subject to a little bit of warpage, so they need something that's a bit more flexible, a bit more ductile.
Yeah, and something that will stay a longer time over liquidus to get the whole, you know, basically to get the middle hot enough to make everything work.
Right.
And yeah, you know, the companies are developing materials specifically for these kind of challenges now.
Excellent.
And, you know, that's obviously helping, because originally low temperature solder was, you know, if it wasn't a consumer product that was never going to be dropped or stressed or whatever, then you didn't go near it.
Yeah.
But, you know, the advances that have happened in the last, well, let's say 18 months, 2 years, the new products that have come out since then are really viable, although the temperature that they are, we call them low temperature solders, but it's not as low. It's maybe 20, 25 degrees lower than we're running SAC.
Right.
You know, we're not 150 degree soldering yet.
No.
But,
no.
you know, I think
220.
Yeah,
roughly.
Some are 200, 220, but it's that middle ground that's enough of a benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, other products that we saw this week, what was the most exciting things that stood out for you?
Walking the floor of the show, a lot of people have brought their newest and latest equipment, but as you and I travel to a lot of shows, nothing was physically launched here, I don't think. But I mean, Prey have a really interesting inspection system.
Yeah.
I've seen it before, but it was generating a lot of interest from a lot of people on the floor because it's a little bit different. You know, universal inspection or box-built inspection or whatever you want to call it is a, you know, it's a niche, but it's a different niche.
Well, very much so, but it's also a very labour-intensive, or the most labour-intensive part of the assembly process. So, the PRAISE system comes in and looks for cracks, deformations, labels that are not there correctly, or missing screws, that type of thing.
And the problem is, the more labor-intensive a process is, the more potential it has for failure.
Yeah.
Because, humans versus machines win every time.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true.
that was really good. I listened to a presentation this morning from NanoFlowX,
Yes.
which is a new nano conformal coating.
Now that is quite disruptive, I think. I think that's quite disruptive. I interviewed the same person from NanoFlowX, but it's a dip process rather than a spray process, it covers the whole board, which is great, around all the edges, but it's thin enough that it maintains the integrity of the signal for the connectors, etc. It was hugely exciting, but it's hugely concerning too, because there's a lot of people here have spent money on dispensers for spray coating.
Oh yeah, and again, it's not approved by Bosch or any of the main, let's say, players who are heavily into conformal coating.
Right.
They're talking to aerospace and defense companies, but it is a little bit different. And the challenge at the moment isn't repelling moisture and repelling dust. The big area that people are using this is, let's call it, harsher environments, where they have to worry about things like sulfur and all of these things in the air. And at the moment, they admit themselves the nano coating isn't that good for those kind of products. It's great for water, it's great for dust, it's great for all the standard stuff. But having said that, they are developing products which will work in much harsher environments.
Right. And I think the other key benefit of it is that it eliminates masking.
Oh yeah.
And that's huge.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But not only masking, it's the time taken to drive around the things that you don't need to see if you're running a dispenser.
Yes.
There's no programming, there's no anything. It's simply back to the good old days of conformal coating, where you dunked it in a bucket and shook it off and then put it into your system to dry it, and that was it.
Right.
And I mean, okay, the technology is much higher than that, but the basic principles are just like the good old days.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Now, they've got a bath system for people that are doing any volume and stuff, but that was I think the big new thing I saw this week. I hadn't seen that before, I hadn't heard about it before, I think it's got great potential.
Yep. And then, of course, obviously, there was the Keiron thing that we presented upstairs, which, I have to say, I've never done a presentation where I've had so many people come to me afterwards and ask me about it.
Really?
I even had people this morning when I was chairing another session saying, Keith, can you send me the presentation? Can you tell me more about it? Can you take my business card? So when you're able to tell me more, can you send it to me? So, there is some disruptive stuff still happening out there.
Well, of course, the official launch for the Keiron machine is going to be at Productronica in about 4 weeks' time.
Yep.
It's currently doing the rounds, I believe, in some sort of bus or coach or truck.
Yeah. If you remember,
Europe.
there were a few pick and place companies that used to put their machine on the back of what was effectively an Arctic.
Yeah.
And they've done the same, and they've taken it to Spain, to Portugal, Italy. I think it's running around the UK this week.
Yeah.
And then obviously it'll go back, and the big launch will be next month at Productronica. So we'll wait to be amazed.
Okay. Well, and of course that threatens to replace stencil printing, SPI,
and jet dispensing. But only for some applications.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But hugely exciting, that's for sure. Now, I mean, the number of processes that are happening that are changing in our industry at the moment are quite make it quite an exciting place to be.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to keep us employed for a few years.
Oh, I hope so. Anyway, great to catch up, Keith. Safe flight back home to the UK, and we'll look forward to catching up with you in a few weeks' time in Munich.
Yep, looking forward to it already.
All right, take care. And thank you to our audience for watching this week.
Welcome to the grand unveiling of the Void humanoid assembly line. faster, smarter, and definitely not terrifying.
These robots replace outdated human operators. Who needs job security when you can have precision soldering at 5,000 joints per second? Let's watch as Voidy assembles a state-of-the-art PCB.
Step 1, pick and place. Ha! Just a little learning curve. I guess he needs to read global SMT and packaging.